we're gonna go into a very big, deep question, aka Patters, and I hate it when. Welcome back, by the way, Peter A. DeLuca here, the film buff. I hate it when I watch a movie like Bionic 2024, and I immediately know the film was ignored by critics, reviewers, commentators. The list goes on. I get upset when I know I'm going to have to sit down and talk about this movie, and I cannot just focus on the movie. I'm going to have to bleed this into another topic. And that topic is this. Science fiction is dead? Question mark. Because I don't understand how this film doesn't send some shockwaves through the world of the internet, through the reviewers, through the Facebook posts, through the Facebook groups. Where was the audience for this film? And it seems like we're asking this question a lot in 2024 and 2025. So let's get into it.
Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production. Take one.
Action.
Yeah, so let's just clarify that. 2024, 2025. I've been seeing a lot of posts about this Mikey 17 Robert Pattinson movie made by, I forget his name, the guy that did Parasite. I was not crazy for Parasite, by the way. I thought that was too much of a low-hanging fruit movie. But I saw a lot circulate about, hey, we say that audiences want something new, and when new movies come out, the audience just isn't there. The audience just walks away. And I've been seeing a couple charts, a couple graphics of all the films that were original compared to remakes and sequels and whatever. And it's just disproportionate. The sequels, the remakes win over everything original that we see cranked out. See, and some of this leans into the model of Netflix. See, Netflix has a revenue stream of hundreds of millions of users or audience members, eyeballs essentially, wallets. What they can produce cash-wise in a month, it's extraordinary. But they do put it into their films. We see it time and time again. Netflix's model is to entertain the world. During COVID, Netflix said, look, if we're being shut down production-wise in the U.S., we're going to go overseas, we're going to pivot, and we will give access to overseas directors, foreign directors, and let them dip into our wallet so we can make something cool. That's I believe that's a little bit of where Squid Game came from. Feel free to fact check me on that, aka Patters. So Bionic 2024, it's the science fiction movie that is human augmentation. People are slowly becoming cyborgs. The society is shifting into part human, part robot. A lot of times on our animation weekends, we do Japanese animation. We can say the golden age of Japanese animation, or like the birth period where it really penetrated the American culture, was when the fiction, the creators were fascinated with human cyborg relations. Sorry, I couldn't say that with a straight face. Where all the stories just involved these extraordinary characters that could jump, like somewhat, it was masking for superpowers. They could jump high, be invincible, flip a tank, all that stuff. And some of those, like Ghost in the Shell, have been adapted. And Bionic 2024 flows right into the failure of Ghost in the Shell that we championed on this podcast, by the way. Because this does what I feel like that movie does. It perfectly illustrates a future world. It's a fascinating world, a world that you literally want to spend more time in, and the characters are thrown into these situations. This movie is part crime heist movie. This movie is criminals with cybernetic implants. They're unstoppable and they're deadly. But then we have a girl who wants to chase glory. So we get this human aspect to the implants, which is athletic performance. And then at the end, these two worlds are going to collide. Basically, professional sports and pro crime. It's crazy. It's a great fight scene at the end. There's a conflict between two sisters, and I'm being somewhat vague in some of the drill down plot details. Number one, because this is a foreign movie. It is dubbed. My household, we call these funny language movies just to be a little silly. Lip sync flicks. I don't know. I'm thinking of a different name for them. But everything we see around this movie is engaging enough to get us past that. Now, a lot of times, I'm between the dub version or the subtitles. I always prefer the subtitles. I prefer original language. Reading along is reading along, not a big deal. Sometimes it's difficult for your film buff to do that because I really have to shut down and focus. That is one of the prime reasons. Just getting the time to sit in front of it and not get distracted. When it's an English language, I can be a little bit more open and put the movie on or pause it, a little bit easier. But I would prefer and again, I've said this before, that's one of the reasons why on this podcast we don't go all in on foreign movies. It's always on my list to do more. But Bionic got me with the trailer, with the promo trailer, and I saw it was 2024, and I'm just like, 2024, it's a movie that literally looks like Cyberpunk. I don't know if you guys saw the visuals from that video game, and I'm just like, wow. And it looks great, and the opening sequence is, like we're robbing a bank vault, and it's awesome. The guy breaks into he gets into a bank. He unloads two of the safety deposit boxes, two of them. He forms a cybernetic arm, implants the arm himself, and then he continues to rob the safety deposit box. And what he gets is somewhat of the MacGuffin of the movie. Great setup, great establishment that this is a deadly world. That bank robber dies in the first scene. It's just there. And this is also a movie visually where the villains kind of look like the villains, the heroes look like the heroes. And I like that. I like that easy illustration. And we also see a world that's adopting these cybernetic implants. I don't know, AKAPADers. It's upsetting to me when I just see a lot of science fiction movies right now. Even recently. I know it wasn't a full recommendation, but Anthony Mackie's Elevation that dropped on HBO Max kind of came, kind of went. No one really cared around the time of the Brave New World push, and people just walked on from it. I don't know if there's much of a vernacular for science fiction. Some of it could be because we kind of do live a little bit in a cybernetic, a cyber future world right now. Maybe the concepts of these movies are not far enough away, but then again, I feel like that's always a plight of science fiction cinema. AKAPADers, please forgive me for not getting more into the characters and more into the plot of this movie. But I did want this episode to be a full recommendation for Bionic 2024. Our director, real quick, Afonso Poyart, he did Solace in 2015 with Anthony Hopkins and Colin Farrell. He also made a movie in 2012 that's been on my radar for a little bit called Two Rabbits. He is a fully capable filmmaker. He knows what he's doing. He knows character, and we get that because, again, we're not dealing with a $300 million budgeted movie. And I feel like a lot of what I'm saying here is a little bit echoed in the most recent Netflix discussion with Electric State, where, to me, that is a fantastic, fun, wild science fiction movie. And boom, like nothing. And we even had the creator, like boom, nothing. It does seem to be in this downturn, and we're getting great filmmakers and people that know story and can work with the limited budget, and they can do things because of the pre-visualization and the green screens, and the list goes on. The tools of these filmmakers goes on and on. And Alfonso he's an individual that can access it. He can tap into those techniques, and I think some of the visuals for this are incredible. But then we're here alone talking about it, and technically I'm talking to you guys without the AKAPAD army present, and I'm in a dark red lit room just to bring this to you because I feel like it's important. So guys, any support, subscribe, support, it all helps. It's a free, you guys leaving comments or reviews. It's a free promo. It's a free way to push us through, because some of these guys, some of these filmmakers, they find these episodes and they message me. So we're out there. We have to kind of push and help and make this podcast as big as possible, because we're here watching the movies and we're here to discuss the movies and bring you solid takes and recommendations so that you can expand your film knowledge and become a better viewer and become a better audience member, because we're in an age where that is dwindling. So guys, love you, rock and roll.
Okay, that's a wrap.